You guys have been asking for it, man. And finally, I have delivered. Courtesy of ProWrestlingTees.com, you can now own the official WWE Off the Script t-shirt. And to get yours today, all you got to do is simply go to www.ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript, and you now can represent the #1 fucking source for all WWE right here on YouTube.com. www.ProWrestlingTees.com/WWE Off the Script. And remember, hashtag fuck those other guys, man. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is WWE Off the Script episode number 84, part number 1 to start your weekend off the right fucking way, man. Thank you so much for joining me here on Friday morning, where each and every weekend we always say this is the #1 fucking source for everything WWE right here on YouTube.com, man. Before I begin off the script and get into the news and rumors, I want to first apologize for the way I sound, man. I've been battling such a miserable fucking head cold. I've had the chills, I've had aches and pains, I've had fucking coughs. I got shit coming out of my nose and mouth that, you know, nobody fucking wants to see, man. But I wanted to be at least at a decent level to bring Off the Script to you guys. I would not let a weekend go without doing Off the Script. I'd be here on my fucking deathbed if I had to. Alright, so Off the Script is going to happen no matter how I'm feeling, so I hope you guys appreciate it. I should be better by the end of the weekend, hopefully. I waited until Friday morning to do this because last night I didn't feel up to it at all, man. I was just fucking feeling miserable, and I wanted to get at least some news and rumors to you guys on Friday. I wanted to do it, you know, when I felt okay. And this morning I feel somewhat decent, all right? So hope you guys enjoy it. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, man. Like I always say, we are the #1 source right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. I got big news with Joe Cronin, man. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag right now. Me and him were talking yesterday via text, and we are going to hopefully get a weekly program for you guys up and running starting next Wednesday is the projected day. I will fill you guys in on what's going on with that. We're going to be talking WWE mostly. We're going to be talking wrestling. We're going to be shooting the shit. It's going to be our little thing, man. And I would rather have nobody else but Joe Cronin by my side, man. He's fucking awesome. If you guys don't know who he is, I'll link his profile and his YouTube page down in the description below. So look forward to that. More news coming. Like I said, follow me on Twitter if you want to keep up to date on whatever's going on with my channel and what I do, man. At JD from NY206, all right? Also, guys, thank you guys for all the Night of Champions support, man. That video did close to 75,000 views. Not as great as the SummerSlam one, but Night of Champions wasn't really that high of an event anyway. So thank you guys for showing some support there. To the new people that came over and have subscribed, thank you. I greatly appreciate it, and I will not let you down, man. Like I always say, I take my job very seriously here on YouTube, and I give you guys the best damn news that I possibly can, all right? Now, enough of me fucking blabbing. Let's get on with the news, guys. I got major news all weekend. I'm going to split it up into 3 parts. We got massive news on Wrestlemania, all right? As you guys seen at Night of Champions, in a somewhat peculiar way that WWE announced The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell, being that match will be their final encounter, okay? It was confirmed during a special Paul Heyman narrated promo at Night of Champions Sunday that The Undertaker will take on Brock Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell match at WWE Hell in a Cell on October 25th at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. This is being billed as the final encounter to one of the most physical personal rivalries in the history of the company. During the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer radio show, it was noted that the WWE officials originally wanted to run with another Undertaker-Lesnar match at WrestleMania 32 next year, but obviously changed their minds. WWE apparently has a match in mind for what they want to main event its biggest pay-per-view of the year. However, those plans are currently under wraps for the time being. It was set at SummerSlam back in August when Undertaker emerged victorious over Lesnar in their first bout since the Beast Incarnate ended the 21-0 WrestleMania streak of the Dead Man. This won't be the first time these two have stepped inside the demonic structure to do battle with each other, as Lesnar defeated The Undertaker at No Mercy 2002. Let me say, first off, about this news article, this is the absolute right decision. I don't think anybody wanted to see this drag on for another couple of months up until WrestleMania, man. This is the perfect opportunity to end it, okay? This gives the feud closure, number one. Number two, you make Hell in the Cell important again for the first time in several years, man. And this, I swear to God, this should be, and I hope is, the only match that will take place inside Hell in the Cell. There is no other feud on this card. There is no other match on this card that will be worthy of a Hell in the Cell structure, okay? None at all. This is the one match that should only be inside Hell in a Cell. I'm glad that they're not dragging this to WrestleMania. I've said it for months, if you guys have been paying attention to me. Undertaker deserves a lot better than just going into WrestleMania 32 in front of 105,000 people to have another match against Brock Lesnar. There is no way they are going to top what they did at the last time that they fought, okay, at SummerSlam, and recreate that at WrestleMania in just a regular match. This needed to happen. This needed to happen, man. The unpredictability that will be, the fucking chaos that will be, it's just going to be very intriguing to see The Undertaker at his age, at 51 years old, inside Hell in a Cell with Brock Lesnar, who is pretty much a fucking animal in his own right, normally. Can you imagine what he's going to do inside Hell in the Cell? This is perfect. I'm glad this is happening. Like I said in the outset, it was a very peculiar way for them to announce this Brock Lesnar Through Hell tour, or whatever the fuck they're calling it nowadays. But they announced it in a Paul Heyman narrated promo, and everybody was like, holy shit, what the fuck did we just hear? Did I just hear that right? Hell in a Cell, Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell on October 25th. Absolutely the best possible scenario for these two, man. Because like I said, number one, it brings the feud closure quick. Nobody wanted to wait. I think it would have lost steam. I think it would have lost interest if it dragged on to WrestleMania 32. And number two, it makes Hell in the Cell, the structure itself, important again. Because randomly, WWE for the last couple of years were just throwing fucking anybody inside Hell in the Cell. Now we have a fucking rivalry that is deserving of just fucking enclosing these two guys in. And one man will walk out and one man will pretty much go to hell. That's the way it's built, man. The final encounter, Lesnar, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, not WrestleMania, Hell in a Cell, October 25th. It's going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait to see it. And like I always do, I'll be here reporting it, and I'll be reviewing it as soon as the fucking pay-per-view happens, man. Gonna be great for all of us wrestling fans. I can't wait to see what happens in the final chapter of The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Now, speaking of these two, I have massive news on what WWE is planning to do. This match is happening at Hell in the Cell, okay, which we're all grateful for. But this match is happening at Hell in the Cell because The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar will be in something completely different at WrestleMania. Something a little bit more deserving of both men. And the WWE, I'm glad, realized this, okay? This match at WrestleMania would have done nothing. It would have done nothing. It would have just hampered both men. It would have constricted both men to be in just another regular match. I think Brock Lesnar has other fucking situations that he must address. Obviously, the WWE Championship. Undertaker, who knows who he's going to be fighting. I've mentioned John Cena before. I've mentioned Sting before. Who knows what WWE has planned. But I'm glad that The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar will be separated at WrestleMania. Not only will that enhance both men's performances, but it's going to enhance the fucking card at WrestleMania 32 as well. So, later on this weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to have two separate reports about who The Undertaker potentially is fighting at WrestleMania and who Brock Lesnar is fighting at WrestleMania, man. I got the inside information from the dirt sheets, from Dave Meltzer. I got all the inside information about the top 3 names that both men will be rumored to be going up against at WrestleMania 32. do not miss this weekend's Off the Script if you want to hear that groundbreaking news regarding The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, man. So look forward to that this weekend, all right? The next time we see Seth Rollins and John Cena lock horns, it will be within the confines of a 15-foot-high steel cage structure. It's been confirmed that the WWE has announced that the WWE Network special from Madison Square Garden on October 3rd, Rollins will challenge Cena for the United States Championship inside a steel cage. Here's the updated card for that show on the WWE Network. WWE United States Championship, steel cage, John Cena versus Seth Rollins. WWE Tag Team Championship has been announced. The New Day versus the Dudley Boyz. Now, on a side note with this New Day versus Dudley Boyz feud, Dave Meltzer noted that the New Day versus Dudley Boyz match at the MSG show on October 3rd is supposed to play a part in the storyline leading up to another match between these two teams at Hell in a Cell. The way they are playing things up on TV, it seems like they are building towards a tables match. My guess, says Meltzer, is that the big hook will be that the Dudleys want to put Big E through a table, but they can't get him as easily as they could with Xavier Woods. It would make sense if they put Kofi through a table at MSG, with the stipulation for Hell in a Cell being that the Dudleys could only win the titles if they put Big E through the table. I like that idea. I like that idea very much, and I would not be surprised if Dave Meltzer is correct on his judgment there regarding the New Day and the Dudleys. Regardless of that, it's shaping up to be a decent fucking match. Brock Lesnar versus the Big Show. Yawn, snore, who the fuck cares? Big Show, the reason why he has looked dominant, the reason why you guys have complained to me via Twitter and the comment sections of my videos. JD Cesaro just got knocked out by the Big Show. JD Cesaro lost again to the Big Show. The reason why the Big Show is looking so dominant over victories on Cesaro, and the reason why he cut a promo, which was actually decent on Monday Night Raw, is because they want him looking strong going into Brock Lesnar's match at Madison Square Garden. That's the only reason. Obviously, Brock Lesnar is going to get the win because he needs to look strong going into his match with The Undertaker at Hell in a Cell. Non-title. This is the match I'm looking forward to on this card. Intercontinental Championship. No title will be defended. Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. I got news on Chris Jericho in just a little bit. Randy Orton versus Sheamus. Oh my God. Like, we didn't see it enough, man. I'm sure these two guys are fucking sick of fighting each other. Everybody I know is sick of seeing this fucking shit. But WWE apparently can't get it through their skulls that Randy Orton and Sheamus, nobody wants to fucking see it. But we're going to see it on October 3rd at Madison Square Garden, man. Grab your fucking pillows if you're going to the MSG show. And then Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. Another fucking snooze fest. So nobody fucking cares about those last two matches. Matches we're going to fucking watch and be intrigued with. Kevin Owens versus Jericho, Lesnar Big Show, New Day versus Dudleys, and then John Cena versus Seth Rollins inside a steel cage, alright? Now, prior to the six-man tag team match at Night of Champions between Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Chris Jericho versus the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman, fan dressed in Shield gear. If you guys remember, some guy just stood behind Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and it was fucking hilarious. You know, because Bray Wyatt was on the fucking turnbuckle, just sitting around waiting for the introduction of the third man. And he was laughing at the Shield guys because, you know, he played it off. He actually took a situation that was just fucking odd with a fan running in the ring and made light of it. Like, this is who you got as your third man. He started laughing. It was fucking hilarious. If you guys want to go back and watch, you know, you seen Bray Wyatt just fucking start laughing at this fucking idiot who's standing in the ring behind Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, jumping the barrier once again. You know, we've reported here on Off the Script that fans have thrown shit at the. It's always been the Shield guys for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what they got against Dean Ambrose or Roman Reigns. Maybe fans are upset that they broke up and now they're retaliating. But Roman Reigns got hit in the head with a briefcase. Dean Ambrose was potentially almost stabbed at a SmackDown taping, and this guy just jumps the barrier and wearing Shield gear. He was wearing a vest and fucking cargo pants, and he was just standing there as if he was one of the fucking Shield guys. So it was a very, very fucking fucked up situation. He jumped the guardrail, hopped into the ring, and stood less than a foot away from Reigns. It was reported shortly thereafter that WWE was going to pursue the most stringent prosecution possible for all future fan incidents. PWInsider.com has since updated the story, confirming what's become of this unknown fan. This week, PW Insider confirmed that the fan who hopped the railing at the Night of Champions pay-per-view and made it into the ring for a second prior to the Wyatt family vs. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho match was charged with criminal trespass of a property or building with no forced entry. The fan, Oscar Ramirez, 37 years old, of Houston, has already pled guilty and was sentenced to 10 days incarceration. Had this case gone to trial, he was looking at half a year in jail. WWE released the following statement after the pay-per-view. WWE takes the safety of our performers very seriously, and any fan entering the ring will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Good. I would have fucking put him in jail for half a year, period, like the report said. Nobody should be jumping the barrier. The ringside area is enclosed for a fucking reason. You got your 15 minutes of fame, and now you're spending 10 days in jail. You fucking asshole. Chris Jericho even took to Twitter and said, stay out of our fucking ring. Period. Period. So hopefully this gets through everybody's fucking skull. If you attend a WWE live event, stay behind the guardrail, stay behind the barrier, or you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent, just like this guy, 10 days incarceration. If this went to trial, or if anything goes to trial, you're looking at a half a year in jail for sheer stupidity. So hopefully fans and everybody around the world who attends WWE live events learns that it's not worth the fucking 10 seconds of fame, man. You make yourself look like a fucking idiot, and everybody around you just looks at you differently, man. So take that into consideration. I'm glad the WWE's taken this to the fullest extent. It needs to happen, otherwise nobody is going to fucking learn. So hopefully people get it through their skulls about this one. All right. Also, news on Chris Jericho, guys. We're going to end it right here with Off the Script for Part 1. Chris Jericho and his surprise return at WWE Night of Champions Sunday night won't be just a one-off appearance. WWE's first ever undisputed world champion appeared at the pay-per-view as the mystery partner for Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in a six-man tag team match against Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman, with Jericho passing out to Strowman's submission hold. Tension was teased following the bout between Y2J and the former Shield allies, with Jericho shoving Ambrose out of his way as he exited the ring. Brian Alvarez noted during a recent Wrestling Observer radio show that Jericho is back with the company on a full-time basis and is expected to be around for the long haul through Wrestlemania, at the very least. He will be transitioning into a heel in the coming weeks, working a program with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns as the villain. Jericho has been competing at a number of live events for WWE recent months, mentioning in numerous interviews how he'd only return to television if the feud and storylines make sense, okay? A couple of things about this. Number one, Jericho is always a treat to have back on TV. Number two, Jericho as a heel is better than anything that he's done in his career, man. Jericho as a heel is a very engaging, very intriguing character, and it makes me want to see him more as a heel, okay? Number three, working with Reigns and Ambrose. Obviously, the rub is going to be great for Reigns and Ambrose if this is done the right way. Who knows what the storyline is going to entail here. I'm glad to see Jericho back on TV. The only thing I didn't like about Jericho's return to WWE is he looked a little bit out of shape. He looked a little bit pudgy. You know, I thought he was doing that DDP yoga that he's always promoting, man. It looks like he's been skipping a few lessons. But Jericho back on TV, he is going to be transitioning into a heel in the coming weeks. He's going to be working with Reigns and Ambrose. I'm glad he's going to be working through WrestleMania season. I always love having Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. He's still one of the best ever. Still one of the best in the ring. And Jericho's surprise appearance at Night of Champions, you know, it was great to see him return. But like I said in my review, Jericho is the one guy that you really can't just suspend your belief and have him go against Braun Strowman, man. There's no way that Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose knew that picking Chris Jericho was going to stop this huge monster in Braun Strowman. You know, I'm glad it wasn't Kane. That would have made no sense. You know, I'm glad that they didn't use Daniel Bryan now after thinking about it, because Daniel Bryan deserves a bigger return to the ring. A lot of you guys are saying that he might return at the Royal Rumble. Save him for the Royal Rumble. It's going to be great. You know, he should be back in the ring if WWE fucking comes to their senses and clears him. But Jericho, you know, it was a little bit retarded, if you ask me, to see him go against Braun Strowman. There's no way he's going to, you know, even the odds against the Wyatt family and help the Shield win. So obviously here, Chris Jericho's back. Something's going to happen as a fallout with this this feud here. Jericho, he's seen just kind of just shoved Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose out of the way as he walked out of the ring. out of the ring. So Jericho as a heel is going to be very, very good for WWE TV. I like this. I can't wait to see what happens. And Jericho, like I said, he's going to be back through Wrestlemania season. And it's going to be very intriguing to see what happens with this feud. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Off the Script, man. Part 1, I got a massive, massive news article regarding both Undertaker and Brock Lesnar for Saturday and Sunday's top story. Do not go anywhere, man. I also got news on the Beast Incarnate appearing on the Stone Cold podcast. You're not going to miss that. If you guys didn't see Night of Champions, you heard, you missed the announcement, actually, that the Beast Incarnate will be a guest, the next guest, on Stone Cold's podcast on the WWE Network. I got news on the Raw ratings and what Vince McMahon is doing. Throwing hissy fits and fucking getting on everybody's nerves, man, about the ratings. We'll talk about that. The full card for NXT TakeOver Respect on October 7th. I got the full breakdown of that as well. And big news on Sting. How is Sting feeling after the injury at Night of Champions, man? All this plus so much more on Off the Script. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so, man. And I'll be back on Saturday, hopefully feeling a little bit better. I'm surprised I actually got through this with minimal mistakes. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll be back on Saturday. Until then, this is JD, sick and all. And I'll be back on Saturday with Off the Script, guys. See you then.